I was watching the cartoon with my son, Jacob. I asked him which his favourite Mr. Man was. And he goes, Daddy, it's Mr. Messy. And I said, well, why, Jacob? And he goes, because he leaves mess everywhere. And that's the modern day consumer.
Yeah, sure.
So you've got your stuff on Instagram, right? You've got your stuff on Facebook, you've got your stuff absolutely everywhere. And, you know, that's the true view of the consumer. They leave their mess absolutely everywhere, in your sensors, in your fuel band, absolutely everywhere. And I think that for me is like getting that information, bring it all together and getting a true view of the consumer. That's what I'm excited about.
Personalised decisions that can be made with big data, that's where data is used for good. Because at the moment there's an issue around data, isn't there? Some people think it's a privacy issue, there's this trust issue. But when big data is used for really personalised decisions, I think that's a really important thing to do. Would you agree?
If you add value, it's fine, you know? And I think the whole concept of privacy goes away if you're adding value. You know, if it's relevant to me, even if it's an advert, which is purely relevant for me, I'm going to click that advert, which is at the moment you're bombarded with random bullshit, which is, for me, you know, I don't want, no one wants. So, but if it was an advert which was actually truly relevant, I love golf, for example, right? So if it was relevant for me and it was golf, I'd click it. And I think that's what it's about. You're right, it's all about those teeny, small, relevant decisions, which it's a bit like the words of, don't make me choose for me. And that's what data gives us, and whatever it may be. And you've also got to put into the kind of pot that privacy goes away with kids as well. Kids don't really care as much, and I think that people got it wrong with Snapchat. When they're saying Snapchat, they're all going to Snapchat because of privacy. They don't want their digital records everywhere. But I think that's not quite so true. I think they don't mind sharing their data. They just use a Snapchat because it's quite fun.
Yeah, and I also think there's a curiosity there. There's a curiosity that's come back with creativity. And I think that these new platforms that are out there, that are definitely either front screen or whether it's mobile or whether it's tablet based, there's this element of curiosity. I'm seeing a lot more things that are curious, especially here at Cannes this year.
Yeah.
I think that in the Innovation Awards and I think the mobile space, none of them are really brand advertisements. It's more like brand experiences.
100%.
I assume that's what you guys believe in as well.
Yeah, 100%. We really do not so much believe in advertising, and it's weird for an advertising agency or creative agency to be saying that. Yeah. But you're right. I mean, it's about providing that kind of relevant, cool experience for a consumer, and doing it without pushing the message. You know, I don't think the world of push I think is gone.
Yeah, you quote your kids a lot in the short time that I've known you.
I do a lot. Yeah.
What do you learn from them?
I learn from them that they. I've got goosebumps because I get excited about them.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love their world of naivety, and I mean, you and I were talking about it. That I just think that their world of naivety allows them to explore spaces which you and I wouldn't even go to. Maybe you would because you're a bit crazy, but and I'd like to think I could get there. Yeah. But they just get there straight away. And so this world of imagination for me is just amazing. If you ask them the right questions, or you get them to ask questions themselves, the questions they ask are just brilliant. Yeah. And I think...
So the answers, aren't they?
And the answers are always better than yours. I mean, I've got some of my best ideas from random interactions with people. So I was working on a Google Moonshot, the Moonshot project for the Google Glass and little self-driving car. And it wasn't accepted, and I did have a word with Astro Teller, and I said, why didn't you accept it? And I was working on the concept of a crimeless future, and how in my head we can work out, put body sensors on you, we can take your chemical reactions within your body, and there's technologies at the moment. You've seen that sort of printable kind of stuff which goes on your skin. You've seen that? I can't remember what's called DC, whatever. But that using that type of technology to get the chemical reactions in your body, I think with big data around it, it can predetermine your action over a period of time. So we're going to have to collect that data for years to come, all right? But over a period of time, you could probably start to predict when someone's going to do something. In the world of Minority Report, but through chemical reactions rather than people sleeping in swimming pools. And and I had this idea, and I was working it in my head and how it could be. And then I had a random interaction with a taxi driver, and she was it was a woman taxi driver. She was unbelievably glamorous in the front of this London cab. Wow. She had just come back from Magaluf, which, if you don't know, is not exactly the most salubrious of places. And I could tell her because it wouldn't matter to me, it mattered to her about my idea. And she said, "Oh, that's quite good. So what you do? You just put it, you use it, and you put it on the ankle, would you? Like those tags you get out of prison." And that for me was like, That's quite a cool thing, because a Google moonshot normally has to happen with a piece of hardware.
Yeah.
Or a result in a piece of hardware. And so I was like, cool. So that was my into that. That was my kind of segue into that, into making this like form the full idea.
That's great. Ben, thanks for spending some time with me. And big
Cheers,
data
yeah.
used for better human experiences. I can sign up for that any day.
Cool.
Man. Thank you
Awesome,
so
mate.
much,
Thank you.
brother. Cheers.